Morning, everybody. It's November 15, about 11 o'clock in the morning. I actually got around and left the house at a decent time, but I went to Home Depot and after buying the battens, I really like the way it blends in with the house. I was going to get common board or your regular exterior one buys, but they have a grain to them, and I just don't think it, I don't know. I might not know what I'm talking about because I'd have to put it on there to really be sure, but I just feel like it wouldn't blend in nicely. This feels like, this primed wood feels like trim. It's smooth with no grain, so I just feel like it looks more like a trim. So what I did today, you get a deal at Home Depot, as probably most of you guys know. There's a lot of like lumber and different things. It'll say certain price, and then if you buy a certain amount, it goes down. So if you buy 10 of these, it drops down $2 and something board. So I make sure I got 10 of them. I had 8 of them cut at 10 foot so that I can do these corners. So, 2 per corner. And then I got 2 more and just had them cut in half because those will be 6 foot, and I can do probably the long, when I'm trimming over there on the longer windows, I can either do the sides or I can do underneath some of these or whatever. So I don't like to get more than the minimum that I need to and still save money. That way I don't have to store stuff all over the place and put it in here, and I just don't like stuff being piled up. Anyway, so that all said, I think my plan is to try to paint these. So I'm going to get my sawhorses up here, and I'm going to paint a couple of sides. And while they're drying, I'm going to go in and try to start working on that bathroom ventilation stuff with the ducting and all that. Maybe just do 2 sides of this and then go work on that. And then when this dries, come do the other 2 sides. And then hopefully finish up the venting system. And depending on what time it is, I could go ahead and start installing this. I'm not sure. Don't know how the day will go. But that way I get some painting done and it's drying while I'm working on something else. All right, let's get to work. Alright, you can watch me paint and figure out that I am a painter. I am not. And I've already told you guys how much I hate painting. A few times probably. So what my goal was to do just one side. One of the edges and one of the sides. I did that with these ones. And the paint covers so fast and so easy. Because this is primed already. And then on top of that I'm using Benjamin Moore paint. So it's really high quality, goes over it. And I was using a brush yesterday, and I've used a brush a couple times, just a regular paintbrush, and I made a mess. And Val told me to use the roller, a little roller. Much better, much better. But me standing all those up on their sides and trying to go down, I guess I still used a little too much paint or something, so it started to drizzle down the sides. So I just went and touched up and rolled over the sides where there was some paint running. Now I'm just going to leave this sitting out here for, 15, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever my schedule allows, and let it dry, because some of it's already half dry. And that's the thing. It's like by the time I get to where the paint was running and I try to smooth it out, it's already drying up. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and then I'll come back and keep touching up edges and things like that. All right, guys, time to watch me fumble around. I'm going to try to figure this out. I've never used these before. Try to put it all together here. Bought myself a little DeWalt razor blade. I lost my other one. I like this because you could just push this button here falls down. Compact little thing to hang it here if you want, or a belt. So I like it. You see me fumbling around with that thing, and it just comes off really easy. So this snap lock thing was like messing around with me, but I think I got it now. All right, I have to share a little story with you really quick. I don't think I've shared it yet, so you guys know we're going to keep touching on this subject, I guess, here and there, but that I had somebody broke my tonneau cover at the time of the hurricane at Helene and stole all my tools out of here. Well, I went to get my oscillating multi-tool the other day, and a couple weeks ago probably, and couldn't find it. And then it made the assumption, oh, that was another thing that was stolen. I couldn't find my chargers, my batteries, no nothing. So I went and bought 2 more batteries and an oscillating tool combo kit because I needed it. Well, I think it was yesterday. I was down here in our shed. Right side of our shed is all kind of household stuff that's going to go in this house and just things we're storing. And on the left side and the back side is basically tools and things for me. So the only side I ever looked was left side. And Val and I, a month ago or something, I don't remember, we reorganized the whole shed because it was just getting to be too much of a mess. And I took some of Roger's stuff back to him, so it created a little bit more room. And when we made it all nice, I bought a couple more racks, and we did that. Somehow, my other DeWalt bag got shoved in on the right side with household stuff, and I just never looked over there and never thought to look over there. And I mean, I glanced, but I'm not looking for anything. So my oscillating tool was there, my multi tool was in there, and 2 amp hour batteries were in there, and my charger that I absolutely loved, was my favorite charger, was in there. So I'm apologizing that I accused somebody of taking it because I couldn't find it. It was innocently done because I had a lot of other stuff taken, but what a nice surprise to find it. So now I have a lot of batteries, I have another charger, and I have 2 multi tools, oscillating tools. So we'll use it. This is going to be a homestead. We're going to be using this stuff all the time. And I got Brandon and Diego. They'll be building stuff and needing things. So it'll definitely be used. So, and they borrow stuff like that from me all the time when they need it. So pleasant surprise that I found this stuff. So anyway, I had to update you guys on that. All right, we're going to go in the house and see if we can figure some of this out. All right, guys, yesterday I came in here and really studied this. How am I going to run my ducting? I think I showed you this already. There's a fan down there, and that's just going to be for the toilet area. It's not much humidity in there. This one is going to be for here with the tub and washer and dryer where I'm standing at. So I had to decide, go the length, that way just go up and around the box and go all the way so it's just a straight shot, no curves in the pipe and the ducting. Same thing with that one. If I go just along here and then come out here. And I really thought that's what I was going to do. But the more I think about it, especially for this one, I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be humidity in it, and so it's going to have some water. So if it just goes kind of somewhat flat and goes out that direction, it's going to go up a little bit. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of pipe, a lot of it's going to be able to just hold water. So I felt like if I take this one and go up and over this board right here and come down here, it'll be on these wires, just resting, but it'll have more of a slant. So, it'll be like this, and even though it is ridged, so it's not going to let all water out, but I feel like it would ventilate a little bit better at an angle versus having a long run. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but I think that's how I'm going to go. All right. Sorry I'm taking you on this journey. It's kind of boring, but you really got to think about these things. So I called the boss wife. She'll love that I call her the boss. No, that actually makes her aggravate. It frustrates her. But I think between us FaceTiming, she agrees with me or sees the point of going up and over this. Even though we'll have water backflow in here, whatever's caught condensation will go back in here. Hopefully it's not going to hurt this because this is made to handle condensation. And if we leave it running for a few minutes after we're done or a little bit longer so nothing goes back down, we'll have the rest of it at an angle and that'll help it flush a little better. This one, like I said, doesn't matter as much, but we'll still try to do something like that too. All right, but because I took so long, I believe my painting out here is dried and I can keep doing some of that. So I'm trying to have that going. Well, I'm doing 2 jobs at once, but that way I'm not sitting and waiting for this to dry. I did another coat there and I'm learning. You know, I'm not a painter, DIY beginner, and I just don't paint anyway. Valia usually paints. This time around I learned with the roller to go a little bit less paint and I'm getting a lot less run over, and made sure when I was going down the edges to not push too hard and just go over it many times with light paint. And that worked pretty good. This is the back side of it. I did this on purpose, so I'm still learning. And the very last thing I'll leave is the front side of it that we'll be showing. So if there's any drips and stuff, which there are some on the back of this one, a couple drips, but not bad. But anyway, I'm kind of learning. I'm telling you, this is primed wood, as I told you guys. It has primer on it. And I really debated in the store which one to go with. And I think I already told you, I like the idea that it's grain-free, basically. It just fits in better looking trim to go with T111, this texture. I think that if I had the raw wood that had a lot of texture, a lot of grain, it just wouldn't look great to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. And what's happening is, I spent a few bucks extra, but when you buy 10 at Home Depot, you get $2 off per board. These are 12 footers and they cut them for me in the store, and it's taking so much less paint. So I think I don't have to prep it at all. I don't, no sanding, no nothing, no 2 or 3 coats. I literally can just do one light coat, especially if you have quality paint, and it's worth it to me, completely worth it. I learned that hard lesson with the T111 that we basically took about 25 gallons to paint this, and we were trying to save money because siding's expensive. The next time when we build our house over here, I will not be using T111. I'll be using something else that may cost more, but it's going to take less prep and less paint. All right, back to over here. Well, I'm gonna do that. I think I've decided I'm gonna go up and over. Whew, this is hard. There's just that fine line between really cinching down and there we go. All right, I see a mistake, I think, which that's a bad mistake to make. My vent has a lip on it, and that leaves no room for a lip right there. I did choose to mostly go through the 2x4 because that gives it more of a slant, and that's the flattest, biggest part. So let me see if I can get this thing in and see what happens. Okay guys, I got this in. I used my oscillating tool to just keep shaving and shaving and shaving, and I still end up doing a little too much. It wouldn't go in, and then boom, it went right in. So let me climb up here a little bit more. You can see there's a kind of a white lip there that could come in further. I'm trying to see it. There we go. All right, come on, stay. All right, so this little white lip could come in further, but I'm pretty happy with what it looks like on the outside. So what I'll do is I'll get this ducting, I think, hooked on, and then I'll come back with caulking and fill this in on the inside and the outside. As that's the blend. I also see a nail right here poking through, so I'm gonna knock that over so it doesn't puncture this guy. I don't know if you saw that or not when I was trying to get this on. The metal piece, I guess, disconnects from the white piece that's on the outside. And I didn't like that, so I went out there and took it out. So I'm still trying to, I put the zip tie a little bit too far down the thing, so I got to take that one off and put another one on. Just so you know, I found kind of the longest ones I could that weren't like a huge pack. So these are 14 inches. And this is only a 4-inch pipe, so 4 inches is actually kind of on the edge, just so you know. So I got this stuff. I'm going to take this apart, and then I'm going to wrap around this and that ducting and try to make a secure fitting so it doesn't fall apart and that it's sealed well. Okay, sorry guys, I was not able to film that. It's so hard to film it, and it's already a two-man job. You actually need somebody on the outside pushing in on this so that it doesn't push out that way. So it was a challenge to get tape around it without it like pushing out, and then get this guy around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and like figure out this end of it on the box, stretch it out and get it where I want it, and then hook it on that end. When I go, what I'm thinking is I'll caulk this and fill this in really nicely, and then I'll take, if I have more of this tape after I'm done with my job, I will tape that all around to just get a really good seal. I also have some really good duct tape that I think would be fine because it's not heat, it's just a fan, so something to really create a really good seal. All right, this is going to be a little bit challenging because the bathtub's there, so I'm going to be trying to work over the bathtub and cut everything, balance it. my battery was going low on the camera, but I kept on working and went ahead and charged the battery. To get this to stay up, it was kind of sagging and I didn't want it laying on drywall. So I don't know if you can see that, but I took a wire and I strapped it to, I put a zip tie around this and then tied the wire to it and hung it up there. So it just kind of keeps it up. But I like this, how this kind of goes up and then it goes downhill out. Okay, so then I came over here and I've been struggling because I knew this was a little bit smaller, the vent on it, but I didn't realize it was that small. So I thought maybe these are 4 inches and I thought this was like a 3 incher, and I was like, oh, I can collapse that, but I really think it's more closer to maybe 2.5 inch. So I cut the wires that go around in the tube and really shrunk it together, zip tied it the best I could, and just taped the heck out of it. So again, there's no moisture in here really. It's just toilet stink, you know, whatever, if somebody wants to run that. So no light in it, no nothing, just a fan for smell. Hopefully this will pass. Hopefully it's okay. Worst case scenario, they make me put an adapter or something. I don't know. Because this thing's already been attached and wired, so not much I can do. And I don't know that there's like something that small. I could have got this part smaller, I guess. However, when it comes to the exhaust out here, it's got to be a 4 incher, so it's got to adapt at some point. Anyway, so I ran this, and that's just hanging there right now. I haven't drilled it, and I thought this might be a good dime that the boards have been sitting out there a while and probably dried, so I'm going to go ahead and do another coat on those. Kind of got that system down. It's still definitely not perfect, and I made sure I got 2 here and 2 here completely done. And I don't know, I tried to put very light paint. That's the little bit of the problem, is I'm like, have to take me longer because I'm spreading just a little bit of paint. But what it does is help trying to prevent stuff like this. See that? I got a couple of spots like that where I had just a little too much paint, and I think that was when I very first started and I was putting too much paint. So trying to avoid that. So it's just barely putting any paint and spreading. Anyway, I did 4 that way that if I finish in here at a decent time and I still have time to work outside, I will have 2 corners ready. By the time I'm done in here doing this, I'll have 2 corners ready. I'll go ahead and paint the other 4, put those 2 corners up, and then by the time I get the 2 corners up, the other 2 corners will be ready, and I can do that. So there is a method to my madness. All right, time to try to get this stuff done. Also, wanted to say the reason why I'm putting these kind of in the middle is because I know that there's nails coming into the ends, and I don't want to hit those with my saw, so I'm going in the middle. I wanted to go along the edge because then it looks just nice and tight like that, but in the middle is where there's the least chance of hitting nails. Also, I don't know if you may have asked yourself, why isn't he going straight this way? Well, because they've already laid wire here and I don't want to fight it, and I think I would end up hitting it, and then it would also be, it'd be close to, I'd have caulking all over it and everything else, and I'd have to put it over there in the corner, and I don't want to do that. So I pulled it a little bit further over here, so we came over one stall, basically. I'm going to try to hold this in one hand so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better this time, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. I do know that I wanted to come down a little bit versus what I did last time. I want to come down just a slight hair so that I can have place for my lip on that thing. There we go. Boom. Wow, it still came out very close to the top there. Hopefully I have room for the lip. I even compensated for that, and it's still really close. All right, guys, even though I was thinking about it, I still went a little too high. So, just gonna do this the way I did the last one. Except for this cord, as this wire's in the way now, so it's a little bit harder. Okay, it took a little bit of shaving and stuff, but we got it in. Now, everything about this is kind of challenging, especially it's one person. It'd be nice somebody who's on the outside pushing in. I'd love to be able to film it, and I'm having a hard time being able to do that because I need both hands, so sorry. I don't know if that angle of the camera got any of this or not, but anyway, I got it on there, taped it up nicely, and now I'm caulking around it. And then I'll caulk around the outside too. So hopefully we'll get all those holes filled in. And hopefully it fills in. It was hard for me to get the tape around up there on the top, and if I had to do it all over again, I guess I would have lowered the whole thing a little bit more. Probably would have made my job a lot easier, but I was wanting to get it in the 2x4 as much as possible, because that's the big flat spot. So outside you'll probably see how when it hits the 1x it goes at an angle, and that's the area I'll have to fill in with more caulking underneath it. And I think I got that pretty good. I'm not going to make a mess and go around on the outside of it, because I did do the inside, and I feel like I would just be making a big mess trying to do like along those edges. It's just not necessary, I don't think. Alright, that's good. Guys, a little after 4 o'clock, I wanted to do the corner trims, but they're going to be in there for now. And it looks like I still need to maybe touch them up a little bit. I might put them on the house and then touch them up that way. But I can see they need a little bit more. You might have asked yourself too at some point, I don't know if you did or not, why I didn't spray these with a sprayer. If I would have had all the trim out and everything ready, I would have sprayed it. But it's such a chore to clean it and set it up and stuff like that. So you kind of need a big project. And since I'm just bringing out trim as I need it, it's not worth it. Anyway, I'm finishing up for the day. I don't know what you've seen, what you haven't, or what I don't remember what I put. Anyway, this is all in now, ducting in. And then, of course, I painted that off and on. That's basically all I did today, right? So I brought everything in because I called Roger, who just got back home at 1:30 this morning from a family reunion trip. I need to borrow his table saw, and he's available now. So I went ahead and put everything away and gonna head over there and get that. Someday I'll probably end up buying one, but hey, he has one right now and I can borrow it. And the reason why I need it is I need an accurate rip. This is around 5 inches or so, and I'll be buying 6-incher ones and putting just a solid piece right here. So yeah, I need a perfect rip to fit in there nicely. All right, guys, I think I should be back out here tomorrow. We might get to doing the corner pieces. I might go to Home Depot and get some more trim, do the math, and figure out how much trim I need so I can start ripping that tomorrow and do some painting on it and get all that up. I will see you guys tomorrow or the next time I'm out here.